Hello there, how are you? Welcome back. Well, today I'm going to finish up the drywall in the master bedroom. With that being said, let's get to work. So, the hardest part of this room is this gabled end of the barn. Thought I had my measurements down, was on the struggle bus getting this piece of drywall up there, and as you will see once I get it up there, yeah, I won the prize for the gong show. I messed up. It was too big. So ease it back down, get my tape measure out. You know the old saying of measure twice, cut once. Well, I measured once, I cut once, and I cut the doggone thing too big. I couldn't believe it. And it's amazing at the 6 inches. It looks like a lot more, but
31 and 3/4, not 37 and 3/4.
Right? Way to go, dork. So took it back out, set it on the floor, went ahead and got it cut down to the proper dimensions, and then that little rascal just fit right up in there. And then it's just a matter of measure, cut, repeat, measure, cut, repeat. The biggest thing that I noticed with the drywall, especially working high up off the ladder, I probably should have set up my scaffolding. It is just very awkward to handle, you know, sheets that are close to 8 feet long. This was actually, I think I skimmed off 3 inches off the end of it. So it was long, it was actually narrow, so it was a little bit more flexible. It all ended up coming together in the end, but if I can give you any words of advice, either take the time and set up the scaffolding, or get an extra set of hands to come help you when you're working with basically 8-inch or 8-foot long sheets of drywall. Boom, just like butter. Now the other thing that is kind of just a heads up, when you're using these cordless drills, when that battery starts running down, you don't have the same strength or the same torque, so it will take much more effort to actually set the screw in. So if there's one thing that I can, or another thing I should say I can recommend, is keep your batteries fully charged, or just know that your progress will slow down as the battery strength diminishes. The other thing that I'm actually doing on this that is not typical with drywall hangers, they won't put these partial sheets. They'll make a point of setting it up to where they have full sheets mounted on the wall. That way it minimizes their seams, like for the finished product. But because I'm coming down to the last of my drywall sheets, I opted to go ahead, have a few more seams. Yes, create a little bit more work for myself, but it puts less trash into my trash, if that makes any sense. So pretty much all of these last little pieces are going to be kind of piecemealed together. So this week's video is me hanging the drywall. Next week's video will be me taping and mudding the drywall. So stay tuned for part 2 of this gong show of me trying to pretend to be a drywall hanger. The other thing that you'll notice is when I set my studs, I did not have them set up perfectly 16 inches on center. So some of them had more distance between, others had less distance in between, and that also contributed to kind of the piecemeal of the drywall setup as well. Now, kind of a final tip for this room and this particular drywall video. If you're going to put pieces up around the window, take the time to cut the window out of the drywall before you hang it. That way you don't have to come back afterwards and cut it out. Now if you have a roto zip that will just zip around it and you don't mind all the dust, then that works fine. I just opted to do it this way and then went ahead, used the drywall saw on the vertical cuts basically, and then the last horizontal cut I tried the knife scoring it, even though I couldn't snap it off, and that actually worked pretty good as well. This worked okay. It was just manual labor, so if you don't mind a little bit of manual labor, this will work. I just followed the metal stud right up the side and got a perfect cut right down the, or right up the line I should say, and right across the line. Would have been smarter though had I just cut this out before I actually installed the piece of drywall. And then here I decided, well, hey, let's see what happens if I score it. So I scored it, snapped it, and then just a few more scores with the knife, and it went right on through, and it had a nice finish edge as well. But that's pretty much it for the master bedroom and the drywall. Now it's just a matter of me taking the time to get it taped and mudded, and that will be next week's video. Alrighty then, I want to thank you all for stopping by. Have an absolutely wonderful and blessed week. Take care.